Since I can remember, I have been fascinated with human behavior, specifically psychopathology, aberrant behavior, demented behavior, criminal behavior, homicidal behavior. And at the top of the list, the most depraved, the most decadent, the most vile is the serial killer. We can go into gradations of that. And the thing about it, the thing that is the most interesting and what confounds people the most, because they think of Hannibal Lecter and they think of these incredibly, these bloodthirsty, these almost animalistic, snarling, obviously demented and vile human beings. And no, they're not. They're not. Because it's not what you think. What goes through these people's minds? What doesn't go through these minds? Let me talk to you about this. Let's discuss this at its full level. And there's going to be more of these too. So let me just tell you right now, please, this is not for the weak. I'm not going to be gratuitously grotesque or unnecessarily explicit, but I want you to understand the gravity of what we're talking about here. So please, no children, not little trigger warnings. This is not for the timid, but it's for people who want to understand, in essence, what good behavior is, what normal behavior is, by understanding and becoming familiar with that which is depraved. Let me stop right there. First, let me ask you to follow this channel, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, please like it. And also hit the little bell to be notified of new streams and the like. And also, let me just tell you right now, please, if you could and you would, I ask you to take time out right now and listen very, very, very carefully to the great people, our wonderful sponsor at Noble Gold Investments. Listen to what they have to say. This is extremely critical. Listen, and then I will return. $2,000. That's where gold is headed. $2,000. The growth will continue throughout 2023, with gold prices remaining elevated at an average price of $2,086 an ounce. All this is according to Bank of America, and it looks like they are absolutely right. At the beginning of December, gold crossed $1,800, and it's still climbing. And if this year has taught us anything, it's that tangible assets are the only assets you can count on, like gold. It's time to open a gold IRA now. Crypto keeps on tanking. Stocks are too volatile. Gold in your IRA is steady. So what are you waiting for? What? It's not too late. Thousands of people have retired comfortably with the help of Noble Gold Investments and their gold and silver IRAs. If you've been a hesitant investor, but one of the handful of Americans who can go for gold and silver in your IRA, now's the time to act. If you get in before the end of this month, you'll bag an incredibly free 3-ounce silver American Virtue coin with every qualified IRA of $20,000 or above. You can't go wrong with Noble Gold Investments. Call 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347 to find out more, or visit noblegoldinvestments.com. Remember, there is always a risk of loss, and past performance is not indicative of future results. All right, dear friends, let's start off with something that we must say. And we always have to say this because not necessarily because I'm trying to be trite or cute. I'm serious. Rex Heuermann, this suspect, is presumed innocent. That means he doesn't have to prove anything. He has been merely accused in the initial stage. He has entered a plea of not guilty. I don't even think he's been arraigned yet. So as far as we know, He is just a suspect. And that's critical to note because that's the way we work it in this country. But let's assume that we are talking about the individual who most assuredly killed these people. And let's talk about the notion of the serial killer in general. What is it? Serial killing versus mass murder. Not even murderer. Serial killing ad seriatim. And let me explain it to you my way. And this is what's all often missed. And this is what people despise about what I'm saying. It's the ordinariness. After the fact, they say, he was creepy. Look at him, this ogre, like, this hulk of a man mountain. He was creepy. They're saying that now. Look around you. 90%, 99% of the people you run into are creepy. And most of the people are not serial killers. Let me say this again to you. Let me put this into context. Listen to me carefully. If you went to a regular prison population, okay? And you looked at 1,000 people. Of those, and we'll get to what psychopath is, because this is going to be many, many subsequent videos to explain this, but we'll talk about what a psychopath is because it's not what you think. People use that as a term. People have called Hillary Clinton a psychopath. She's not a psychopath. It doesn't, it's like Marxist. People just throw these words out, these terms. But 10% of the population is a true psychopath. That's a person who does not have a head-heart connection. That is somebody who does not appreciate consequence. That is not a person who is able to appreciate consequence and feelings of remorse and sadness and all that kind of stuff. Get to that later. But of the regular prison population, virtually none of them are serial killers. You've got people in there who are rapists, yes. Serial rapists, yes. You've got murderers who some might be a contract murderer, some might have been second-degree murder, manslaughter. But to be a serial killer is somebody who has to go out and claim his prey. Usually a woman. I don't know about how the demographics are today, but historically it was a white male, 25 to 40. Depends. And by the way, everybody's an expert. Everybody is a profiler. Gee, Gilgo Beach. Let me see. Long Island. He seems to know this area there. Hey, I'll bet you he lives around there. What do you say? And if he lives around there and is familiar with that, he probably will fit in with those type of people who live there. And they tend to be what? They tend to be a little bit more upwardly mobile, and this isn't rocket science. But let's go back to what it is. This is the person who says, it's not enough for me to get a hooker or to go on Tinder. You're a serial killer on Tinder and your burner phone and you're calling family victims, allegedly. We'll get to that in a moment. But it's the person who goes on and says, it is not enough for me to rape or to harm. I have to kill. And it has to be up close and personal. I'm not going to kill from a sniper's nest. It's got to be there. Normally strangulation or blunt trauma. Something that is oftentimes involving behaviors post-mortem that'll let your mind wander. And guess what that one was? That was a big Ted Bundy trick. Nobody knows. Nobody ever talks about what he did. You kind of know what he did. No, you don't. He was depraved on a level that nobody's ever seen. But don't call them evil. Don't elevate. That might be a way of describing it. What they will tell you is simply this. Not this gentleman, but others might say, they will tell you, I am a sadist. I am a psychosexual sadist. I enjoy terrorizing. I want to see their face. I want to feel the life of them through my hands or through this connection. I don't want to hear about this. I'm not a terrorist who plants a bomb. I want it to be up close and personal. I feel nothing for these people. Not because I'm a psychopath, though it could be, but that's not it. Their sense of excitement, as one serial killer one time said, and this was the most fascinating interview. The lights went on when I heard this because I understood it. He said, "What is the most excited you've ever felt in your life?" He says, "This to me was like," he said, he could feel something like he could see the atoms move, or I mean, he said it was a rush and excitement and overwhelming Niagara Falls flood cascade of excitement, the likes of which nobody could ever explain, or that he has ever experienced in his life, or that he could ever even remotely put into words. Nothing in his life ever remotely approximated this. And after he did it, and after he calmed down, and after he kept usually some type of a trophy, some type of a reminder, a souvenir, he would or go back, perhaps to do a series of post-mortem horrors, to relive this, whatever you want to call it. Again, I don't want to spend too much time explicating the obvious, but you know what I'm talking about. But that's not the point. Then he cools down. And then it starts again. And do family members know? Do children know? Do wives know? No. Remember, after everything that occurs, whenever there is the revelation of something, when somebody has been a thief or an embezzler or a two-timer or a philanderer, then things make sense, but never during. It's not like he's coming home soaking wet, with the covered in blood with a hatchet. That might give something away. But how they are able to live their life and just fit in. Now, in the next couple of discussions, we're going to talk about what do they do? Again, what do they think? How can we be on the alert for these people? Why are they so difficult to find? Thank God for DNA. This individual was arrested, found because of pizza that he chewed, masticated, tossed aside. Hairs from his wife found in this burlap. We'll also talk about, why were you using the same MO all the time? Why are you going into the same place every time? I'm not trying to give people instructional information, God forbid, but it's, and he did this. This was a while. This was a decade plus. But the point is, the mistakes and the lunacy and the idiocy, when it meets with hubris, because there was a part of him, as you see, the way he lumbers about. He was a big, smart, New York architect. And watch him. It's like listening to the videos of the CEO of Ocean Gate, the Titan sub. After the fact, you realize, wow, this guy was almost twisted in his self, this adulation, this self-aggrandizement. We'll talk more about this. But understand, it's not to glorify these people. It's to stop them. It's to catch them. And if we're lucky, to maybe identify them at an early age. And what's really going to scare you the most when we get done with this, after these future discussions, is how unremarkable they are. The banality of evil, as someone once said about someone else. All right, dear friend, thank you so much. Please like our video. Please Subscribe to the channel, hit that bell to be notified of live streams. And don't forget our great sponsor, Noble Gold Investments. Great people with a great product. And now I thank you. And now I ask for you to comment as you see fit.